And boom, just like that, we're live. Let me share this out and then we'll get after it. And one more share. You know what, the hell with it. We'll just go with that. All right. Hey, Mike, good to see you, buddy. All right. Let's see. I got a great package in the mail today from, I guess, a viewer, or would you say a viewer or a reader or something of that nature? And yeah, boxes of goodies, Mo. What's up, dog? Devin, hey, what's up? And so this chap sent me, here's his note to me. It says, hello, Kev. A few things you might like out of a horde of ridiculousness that I can barely see anymore. So unfortunately, this listener watcher has some fading eyesight, I guess. And he's mentioned that to me before. So there were 3 books in here, a package of cat treats that will likely not perk your interest, but my cats really enjoy this microscopic piece of chicken that retails more than the price of caviar. And then there are 2 games in the box, which I won't share what they are right now. We'll have a little bit of a surprise. And of course, then there's a very sweet note, just rewarding those who stand up against the horde of damnable pink counters. And he said he would be happy if I did an unboxing at some point. So, boom, here we go. Let's put the chat on live so I can see what's going on. And we'll kind of take it from there. Michael, good to see you as well. All right, so let's see. There's a bunch of stuff in this box, and unfortunately, it was damaged on the way in, but no damage to the content. So first of all, a purely fancy feast Purina Cat Treats, which, given the drama I've had with my cat, one cat in particular, attacking my boards lately, they will come in handy. Will reward good behavior. First game out of the box is Rostov 41. Now, I have some commentary on this, and in fact, I made a note here to discuss 3 things, actually 4 things, and one of the 4 things is to discuss the original designer, game designer, which we'll get into. His name will not be mentioned on the video, but we'll have a chat about him anyway. So there's that, because we got to do libel things. We got to be careful. So there's that. Let's see what else we got. Okay. Weapons of the modern Soviet ground forces, major equipment in today's army. Very cool. Okay, so this is like a little handbook for. Oh, look at that. He looks very serious, doesn't he? Weapons, an index. We've got information about everything from the T-10 through the T-72, recon vehicles, APCs. Now, notice only the BMP-1 there, I'm imagining. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me bring it a bit closer. Towed artillery, self-propelled artillery, air defense. So SA-11s are the most, and Gaskins are the most modern stuff. AT weapons. So this must be. When was this published? I'm looking. Can I see a date somewhere? 81. Interesting timeline, right? 81 was an interesting period. Organization of the forces in 81. This is really cool. Hey, John, I really appreciate you sharing this with me. Look at that T64. So cool. I really like T64s. They just look groovy. Got some Heinz going on there. As you can see, there's lots of groovy stuff. So I'll enjoy looking at that. Kind of a handbook companion to David Isby's tome on the Soviet armed forces. So lots of groovy things in here. Oh, got some guys in mop. All right. Spigots, bits and pieces. rear services equipment. That's where I would want to be. Spandrels. I didn't even know some of these missile names. Oh, that would make a great t-shirt. Big boy missile. All right, very cool. So that's cool. That's worth looking at in the future. Different period altogether. Greek and Roman warfare. He obviously knows one of my passions. A longtime viewer is John. Let's see, Hedapsis, Janaria. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this. This will be great. I've been reading a lot about tactics, Mantinia. I've been reading a lot about tactics recently in the ancient era, so this will go well. Dealing with deception. Deception was a very difficult topic for the ancients, you know, especially the Romans and particularly the Greeks. They would often use deception and trickery. And how it was used and how it was perceived had a lot of impact upon the leadership and their longevity in their role as leaders. All right, that's going to be cool. That very, very nice. All right, that's very cool. What else we got? Oh my gosh, there's another book in here. Look at that. All right, so the game, which I know you want to see. Okay, Last Stand. More pink counters. Masahiro Yamazaki, great guy. Met this guy. Had dinner with him in France. We both happened to be in Paris at the same time and got together with all the French war gamers. Classic. English, French, and Japanese all being spoken at the same time. Had no idea what happened that night. All I know is that it ended up with Calvados and a hangover. We'll get to shrink ripping that in a sec. Rome 44, interesting. The battle for the Eternal City. Given that we have Rome, Salerno to Rome, this will be a great read. Oh, good photography as well in here. Because you know I live in Texas, so I need to have pictures. There we go. We got that poor dude he is not looking good. I wouldn't say that's two members. I would say that's one member. Guy, he doesn't look like he's getting up again. All right. Very cool. More books. Loving it. Excellent. Thank you. So let's shrink rip. I tell you what. Let's get the sort of good, the bad, and the ugly out of the way first, and let's talk about Rostov 41. I got a whole nother game here from a vendor, and we'll get into that maybe if we have time. I may end up doing that separately. We'll just go for it, depending on the time you have and how interested you are. All right, let's see. Hello. I thought there's nothing worse than the fumbling. This is why you don't do things live, Kevin. All right, Rostov 41. So, another SES game. I'm a bit of a roll with SES at the moment. Panzer Battles, and then Iron Curtain. Play 2 scenarios of that, and now we have the Race to the Dawn. And there's some interesting commentary that I need to share with you on this. The development team, Lee Forrester, stepped in to help make sure this game was up to the specifications and the quality expected of SES and Dean Ethic, because the original game designer has some significant issues, unfortunately, and had to kind of be well, let's just say that Lee put a lot of work in, along with the playtesting and researching group and the proofreading group, to finish this game and make it the high quality production that's required in the SCS system. So, so there's that. Now, thankfully, so let's have a look at this. I'm curious to see, first of all, so it's pretty much the standard World War II East Front SES play, sequence of play. We've got a little bit of supply action going on. There are also going to be some supply issues, so that's good to know. Unit reconstruction, some weather, and then straight onto scenario. So 1.5 pages of special rules like that. We have DGs, that means there must be ARDI, so it's kind of bulk standard SCS, which is cool. Oh, wait, what? Russian units that are brown and not pink. Okay, I'll let it go. I'm gonna let it go. Gotta let it go. So there's that. So one counter sheet, nice. We may have to set this up, and I'll tell you why, because I might have a window to play this pretty quickly. And because Time for Trumpets is on its way. I finally got shipping notice, and that's a 5-map 1100 or 2000 counter game, and I'm going to be putting that up as soon as it gets in, assuming I can manage the rule book, which I think is going to be quite substantial. So here we go. Let's just quickly check. Yeah, Lee is next, right? Lee is a freaking legend and gets almost like no credit outside of TCS. So the fact that he was involved gives me a lot more confidence about this game. I have some significant history with the designer of this game, and I seriously question his ethics and moral compass. So I would not normally buy any of his products, but this was given to me. I'm going to give it a roll, and it's all going to be good because good MNP, former The Gamers people have been involved. So it's all good from that perspective. Let's see. Yes, Mo, I did get a yes. NW Next War Vietnam is also on its way. The gaming area downstairs is devoid of games, right? Where we have nothing set up. Well, that's not true. I do have Carrier still going. I got that action rolling, and I have a TCS game set up. But I finished Iron Curtain, and I have the TSWW Operation Battle Axe game partially set up. I'm struggling through the order of battle with that game to try and get that thing squared away. Anyway, so I have a little bit of space and time to, in the downstairs play area, to dick around with games, but unfortunately I'm very, very, very pressed for time to play games at the moment with new gig. All right, new work stuff. So, excuse me, bumping the camera. I've been at a meeting for 4 hours talking, so I'm losing the voice a bit. Interesting that there are mountain units, but I didn't see any specifics. You know, once again, this is one of the challenges with SCS is you do get the unit designations, but you really don't get any benefits other than the exploit stuff, of course. And almost no exploit units for the Russians. Oh, this is going to be just, I am imagining, unless this is, oh, and they're one-steppers as well. I'm imagining this is going to be a romp for the Germans, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Yeah, maybe the artillery plays a factor. Okay, very interesting. So everyone knows Rostov 41, right? You know the story. If you've played Stalingrad 42, which has nothing to do with that actually, but if you've played any East Front games, you played the Russian campaign. Rostov was a big deal. You've played any East Front OCS or stuff like that. Getting to Rostov is hard. From Stalino or along the coast or whatever the case may be. It's a critical point. It's a junction for supply. So it's a fascinating topic to cover off on. It'd be good to look at it in a sort of light-hearted, sort of probably more abstract way. So we'll get into that as it comes along, and we'll have a report and probably some live play, because this I can probably live play without making too many mistakes, as opposed to other games that I do live plays for. Right, Rostov, Race to the Dawn. Excellent, looking forward to getting that bad boy on the table. Last Stand, I had a chance to have a look at this inside the box of this game, and over at a friend's house, and in fact I think we're actually going to play this game. in the next couple of weeks. Norman, if you're watching, let's get our schedules squared away. If you're expecting me tomorrow, I'm not coming. So we have not agreed on playing tomorrow. But Last Stand, gorgeous, evocative artwork. And as I've mentioned, Masahiro Yamazaki, I like his games in general. I believe, if I'm correct, Hobby Japan magazine games, he has had the rights to publish the SBI or S&T games in Japan, and he's done a lot of work on those titles and kind of changed the artwork, etc., to give it the appropriate feel for the Japanese marketplace, and been very successful with that. And I have a lot of respect for him. So I'm very curious about this game. I had this on pre-order, but at some point I gave up on the entire exercise. It went on for a long time trying to get this printed. So I would probably give this a higher rating for solitaire than medium, but whatever. Complexity, I would say, is probably accurate just based on the quick flick through of the rules that I've already had at my buddy's house. 8 to 10 hours, loving that. Let's do the Eastern Front in 8 to 10 hours. That's a win. 3 scenarios. Okay, 10-day turns, interesting choice of time scale, and 7.2 kilometer hexes. Interesting. Right, so, and Nicholas, of course, is our artist, and he has done a sensational job on this map. Wait till you see it, and we will check it out. 420 counters and a couple of aids in the box. Here we go. Little piece of paper. Same artwork on this. I think this is full color if I recall. Yep. I think we clock in all up, including the Last Stand sequence of play on the back here. 27 pages of rules. These are for including scenarios and some optional rules. So really 23. I read through these rules real quickly, and if we look at the sequence of play here, you'll see that it's pretty, I'm going to call it standard in terms of its activity inside a game turn. It's not the a victory denied, a victory lost system with chip pull. It's a straight up knockdown, drag out. Germans get the move, Germans get the fight, Soviets get to react, exploit, and then same again for the other guys, right? Now, I don't know if there are subtleties and tricks and little clever doohickeys in here, but all the zone of control stuff and stacking and everything looks pretty standard. So I think this is kind of the fast play version of the Eastern Front, and it may well be that it's a redo or a reprint or a reimagination of another title that I probably should know, but because, you know, who pays attention? That's me. All right, James, welcome. Counter sheet. There's another one here somewhere. Don't panic. There are more salmon-colored counters to come. Disrupted no Zoc. I believe that is going to be a function of /combat/supply, but not certain. Did not catch that in the rules. And then counter sheet. Nice. I would call these. In fact, these feel better and thicker than the SCS Rostov 41 ones that I was just looking at, but they're kind of got that easy punch feel to them. I can zoom in a little bit here, you can check it out. All the Germans, armored, mechanized units, and then, now it does, that's right, it does have this untried feature in the game, so that's going to give you some variability in play. So Germans are all relatively tried, so there's that. And you can see here it's got set up hexes for these guys, so I guess once you play once or twice you'll probably know who's who and what's what. All right, reinforcement stuff. 2 CRTs, that's nice. So there's actually more than reinforcements on scenario 2. Scenario nothing. Oh, German reinforcements here. See that? I'm not a fan of that font. German setup. Okay. All right, that's good. So there's two charts that are both the same. CRT. Let's see, what do we got here? Step losses by the looks of it. Springtime, what's up, Doug? So I received 3 games in the mail. 2 from a viewer fan, along with 3 books, if you didn't see that, Springtime, and some kitty treats that are here somewhere that I'll show you in a minute as well, which I thought was very, very kind. What do we got here? Yeah, look, CRT, it's all step losses. There we go, and a retreat. Bulk standard, easy. We might, maybe we'll put this up first. I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to have a look at this, but I'm supposed to be playing opposed. So maybe I'll get a little play in, and then I'll have an edge on my opponent. All right. Not that I would do that to take advantage of Norman, but now this map, when I saw this map, I was quite impressed with the artwork. Given that it's dealing with the Eastern Front, the December timeframe, I believe it's December, right? It's the point, or probably October, right? Yeah, October. So October through the Moscow counterattack. You got your fortifications. You got the white to make it feel like you're in the snow. You've got setup. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. Whoa, crazy guy. You've got setup. Actual unit types, which is nice. Really nice artwork on this, right? And this is all Masahiro's artwork. I almost, well, maybe it's not, but maybe had an influence on it. But I was under the impression that he usually did his own maps, and so I'm guessing maybe Nicholas Escooby did the counters, but I'm happy to be wrong on that. Really evocative, beautiful. It's clean, it's simple, it's informative. There's a lot of little stuff around the edges, which I guess playing solo is kind of a bit of a challenge. You got to leap and lean. Look, got your fortifications here. You've got tech on the map. Let's turn this around so we can actually see what's going on. Let's bring all this stuff down here so we can see it. Whoa, sorry about that. So here we've got stuff about ski troopers, preservation for morale, your damage track, and then if I'm going too fast, just tell me to slow down and I'll check it. Weather, game, record chart, do key things. Hey, Craig, good to see you, bud. We need to get a game going. You said I'm happy to play something. Let's find a vassal module and do it. Right? I'm keen to do something, even if it's live. We can do something live. German combat unit supply. I guess that's like a rules summary we've got going along across here now. So that's interesting. By core. Okay, so I am going to have a more serious look at the rules then, because this, I didn't catch this when I had a skim of it the other day. Excuse me. Oh, okay. Nothing like some ice cold water, right? Yeah, really nice map. I'm very impressed with the quality of the map. See, MMP, there's nothing wrong with doing something a little more artful than the standard SCS map. And here's the contrast, right? And I don't mind. I really don't mind the SCS, OCS, whatever they are, all the different system maps. BCS does the same thing. I know this looks kind of bland, just got that kind of muddy brown, but that's trying to affect the plains of the South, right? But this sort of formulaic effort, sometimes I just wish we could get a little more, sorry about the camera shadow, a little more artful with the map work, but maybe that costs more. I don't know. Just a stark contrast between, between the two. All right, so there's that. Right, you guys want to see this other game? Are we still feeling like we should do that? If we're not, if we don't want to do that, that's fine. I'm happy to do it separately. Was that in the box? I don't know. I think it was just a D6. I think that's belongs somewhere else. I don't really know. No? Yeah, a D6 and a D10. There you go. There's another little nuance that I didn't catch. That must be for combat, I guess. And the D6 is for weather or something. So, all right. I'm not seeing any comments unless I missed them. Oh, here we go. Yeah, good point, Kyle, about the map artwork. Although I will say that Line of Battle does have probably better artwork than the standard games. In for a penny for a pound. Mike wants a shrink a rip. Let's do it. Okay, so I got this in the other day by Stealth and Sea. And this is a David Thompson game, and he has been punching out the games recently, and it's interesting. This ran as a Kickstarter. Yeah, Mo, I saw that you posted that you got yours today. That's interesting. So I guess maybe, and this is a complimentary copy, guys, by the way. So I'm very appreciative of David offering to share a copy with me, and this is probably not 100% in my wheelhouse of go-to games, but I have been very impressed with what David's been doing recently, and I have slowly becoming a fan of DVG games from the perspective that I've enjoyed Phantom Leader, and I just bought I think it's Hornet Leader Carrier Ops or something like that. I've got that coming in the mail, and one other game, but that's probably not relevant right now. Okay, so and this is a heavy box. Beautiful artwork on the cover, evocative, right? If you're not familiar, this is really heavy. If you're not familiar with the title, let's do a little quick overview here. It's Italian human torpedo attacks during the Second World War. You can get a feel for the fact that there are cards in the game. We've got the scale, number of players, time to play 30 minutes, complexity low. By Stealth and Sea is a solitaire or co-op game that takes place during the Battle of the Mediterranean in the Second World War. You lead elements of frogmen units called the Decima Flottiglia, the MAS. Under your command, teams of frogmen pilot man torpedoes in attacks against the Royal Navy in the heavily guarded harbors of Gibraltar, Algiers, and Alexandria. Yeah, there's not a suicide mission at all. Let's see, campaign system with 9 historic man torpedo attacks, yada, yada, yada. During the campaign, you'll advance with your technology and train your frogmen. Probably good to train them before we go, but nevertheless. But the Royal Navy responds to success by these attacks by improving its defenses. The remarkable accomplishments of the Decima Flottiglia served as a model for other Navy Special Forces for years, yada, yada, yada. So there you go. So a map, some player sheets, some cards, some counters, some tokens, and some dice. We're probably going to be walking into a solitaire game that will hopefully give us lots of choices, and the card play is going to be important. And other than that, I know nothing else about it. So, wow. Okay. This is okay. It's 2 booklets. That's good. I was going to say, man, this is a big ass rule book. Right. For a solitaire game, what are we clocking in at? 29 pages, including references. Full, I think it's full color. Yeah, mostly. Yep, full color. Well spaced out. Oh, nice. Okay. And guys, here's where I'm going to let you all down because I don't know enough about the game to speak knowledgeably about it. But I think you're going to see some cool components here. And that's components for the game. There are multiple game boards, one for each port. And I think some of them may have been stretch goals. And then we've got. Let me just check what this means here. I'm just looking for a detail here to try and, okay. Soluri Alenta Corsa are the operators, the SLCs. So when we talk about SLCs, sheets, that's what, these are the operators. And then we're going to have random events occurring and things of that nature. Operator cards, harbor defense cards. Okay, so this is going to be probably potentially similar but different to Pavlov's house, perhaps. We'll see. I don't know. I'm guessing, right? As a shrink ripper here. Well, this rule book is really nice. It's really well laid out. Big font. This is probably a 10-page rule book at best. Hey, Jester, what's going on, man? I'm just reading these comments here. You guys are cracking me up here. Nice. Okay, let's have a look inside, right? Have a look inside of the box and see what's going on. Mission guide. So that's 35, 37 pages, all the different missions, the setups for all of, oh, sorry, I guess I should let you actually see what I'm seeing. All the defenses for the various locations. Yeah, this is really nice. It's really well done. Hopefully okay, first map. Hopefully I'll be able to play this at some point very soon. Gibraltar. Entry points into the harbor. And then we have Algiers on the African coast. Very nice. Really nice. Reminds me of the sort of abstract but interesting artwork of Pavlov's house. And this one is Alexandria as well. And these are thick, heavy stock, full gloss, beautiful maps. Harbor defenses on the side here, turn sequence over here. Then we've got the SLC teams riding their little chariots of death turn sequence reference card on a very nice quality cardboard. SLC action reference. So I guess these are, depending on what you're going to do, you're going to be in a certain state, whether it's submerged or surfaced, and it'll cost you a number of action points. And then you're going to have a check value to see if you're successful, and descriptions will tell you what happens. Campaign after action reports, you're going to want to make copies of that and not write on that by the looks of it. Campaign roster. And we've got guys' names here. Vesco Zozoli. Vicinatini Magro. That's classic. Look at these guys. This is great. Oh, by year as well. Okay. There's another after action report. There's some counters, and they're big, thick, easy punch. super high grade quality. Look at that thickness there. Stuff you love, right? Big hexes here. So here's the ships from the Allies that you're going to be trying to sink, I imagine. Try to get this to focus, if it will. Don't think it will. My apologies. Come on. Yeah, you suck. Not going to do it. All right. Let's see. You know, the resolution on live stream just never is any good, is it? All right, whatever. All right, they're the counters. Trust me, they're there. On the backs. Okay. I think this will be an immersive game with a lot of a high level of, you know, the solitaire narrative that comes out of it. And what I'll be looking for when I play this game, as I always do with solitaire games, is what are the decisions I'm going to have the opportunity to make while I'm playing. Because what we don't want in these games, in these solitaire games, is to be the mechanical mover of bits and a roller of dice for the AI. We want to make meaningful decisions, and this, you know, at a very high level, is giving me a feel that perhaps that is what we're going to get here. Now, here's something interesting. This is a very small set of cards. I guess designed to fit the map just right, but we'll pop them open and have a look. He said, trying to rip them all open. There's two sets of cards in here. I can tell by the difference in the color. So just, you know, here's my hand. That's the size of that card. So quite tiny, I guess, you know, to fit potentially on these things here. So just different actions that are going to be made available to you, perhaps, or maybe these are skills for the divers. And then here we have some type of event, harbor defense events that will occur. I guess these are alert markers that go from low number up to 11, I think. Yeah, 12. So there's those. Very cool. Okay, so what are you saying, Jester, about you will be playing a story, so it will get you involved in the game? Okay. Yeah. Okay, very cool. All right, then larger set of cards. Let me get my rusty Stanley knife and try and open them without cutting myself and infecting myself. Yeah, come on, dude. You know, they have these little wrappers around them that if I had a fingernail, I could probably find it, but I can't. So I'm going to hack up the top left, the top card. Don't buy this game from me if I ever sell it. I scratched the card. Come on. Whatever happens, you're just putting a freaking elastic band around shit and doing that. It's eco-friendly and easier to get into. Okay. These cards are the forward positioning and the faults, I guess, all the things that can go wrong. You know, do you think maybe the Italians might not have done a super duper job of making these things, and there may have been a few issues? Ballast tank faults. Okay, that happens a bit by the looks of it. Battery faults. Oh boy, can you imagine? Oh, breathing gear fault. That is not a good plan. Not a good plan. That's not good. Oh dear, look at all this stuff. Look at the artwork too, it's pretty cool. Transmission, that would suck. I'm dead in the water, man. Warhead fault. Well, you know when you're going to find out about that, right? Very cool. Yeah, and you know, looks good, feels good. Got your dice. You've got your groovy little Euro bits, and there you go. Very nice. So that's by Stealth and C. Here's the interior of the box, so it's all sort of easy to pack up. I guess I'll leave all the packing in there for now. I imagine you could probably pop these up and keep the cards. Maybe not. All right. I was just looking at maybe I was wondering if this is sort of deliberate, so that you put all the cards down here and they stay in one place and do it slide around. But I don't know if that's the case or not.